Credit risk. When looking at any of these financial instruments or derivatives, consider that they are traded in two different ways, either over-the-counter or OTC or exchange traded. So let's look at the credit risk on an OTC contract. An OTC contract is really one that is just bilaterally agreed between two parties, typically a bank and its customers. We're going to try and understand the credit risk in this OTC market by doing an example. Let's say the bank enters into a forward exchange contract with a client and they fix at a rate of 100 with the bank. Now, what does this mean? Well, they've got an obligation to buy those dollars, for example, in the future date for that amount. Now, why do I suggest that in the rising credit market, rising spot market, credit will be reduced? Well, really, what has happened is that the bank has actually bought the underlying asset for them now. And as the market price rises higher than their commitment price, well then the market value of this contract will start going positive. In fact, you can mark to market an exchange contract, you can mark to market any contract during its life by comparing its value to the current market value to illustrate whether it has positive or negative market value. This really is what the credit risk is, because for if any reason the customer is in default, it's liquidated, bankrupt, insolvent, for whatever the reason, if they default on their obligations on the contract, the bank will be holding it. They will have to sell perhaps these dollars back to the market, and only if the market is rising will the losses be reduced if this has to happen. If we have to consider it the other way, the same customers bought the contract, obligated to transact or pay at 100 in the future. What happens if the market starts dropping below the contract rate? Well, now, in the event of default, if the bank had to go and sell those dollars back cheaper than when they bought them, this would result in losses. This is the credit risk that we talk about. And in rising markets for a long contract, that credit risk reduces. And for falling markets on a long contract, this credit risk increases.